gbogbo. Bákan náà làwọn ọmọ gba ọ̀pọ̀ ògbóni àgbáyé lálejò Tajudeen Ọlárẹ̀wájú Àjàlá láti wá ṣe àyẹ́sí fún olóyè Ìgbòho lọ́jọ́ náà. Tí ó wáyé nínú gbọ̀ngàn ńlá ní London Kensington 179-199 Holland Park Avenue London W11 United Kingdom. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ látago méjì ìrọ̀lẹ́ nínú ilẹ̀ dago méjìlá òru. Bákan náà láti kí wa kún ìmúrasílẹ̀ ìwọ́de làmìlaka tẹgbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ ènìyàn tí ó wáyé nílùú ọba 1 million rally in London lọ́jọ́ kejìlá oṣù kẹwàá. Ó jẹ́ ọjọ́ kẹtàdínlá pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho. Lẹ́yìn tó Ọláyọmí Koikimedia àti kan lára rẹ̀ ó máa ṣàkóso rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ọ̀kan-ò-jọ̀kan àwọn àlàkalẹ̀ ìrọ̀rùn. Nípa bá ṣe máa fi ọkọ̀ àjàgbé ńlá ní London round bus gbé àwọn àgbààgbà àti àwọn abarapá gbogbo láti BBC in Oxford títí tí ìwọ́de ó fi parí sí Paris Trafalgar Square. Bọ́wájú ọjọ́ kẹtàlá ọjọ́ kẹ̀ndínlá with Ìgbòho láwọn máa ṣàbẹ̀wò lọ sí ìlú Manchester gan. Fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí i tàbí láti dá sí ètò ìfọlọ́dúnrún ẹ lè gbé tàbí kẹ́ WhatsApp Ọláyọmí Koiki lórí +447 594 050 979 yàtúgbé lórí +447 570 320 030 Tóyìn Ọláoyè lórí +447 896 018 764. Lápapọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá àgbáyé pátápátá ní àwọn ẹgbẹ́ ìfọlọ́dún àpapọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá fẹ́ kí ọmọ aládìgbò wípé ẹkú ọdún ẹkú ìyẹ̀dún àti ìsàmọ́dún àsàmọ́dún sẹ́ẹ̀dí ìtayà tọmọ. Yorùbá wọ́n ní ìyá ló ń kéde lórúkọ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá. Lálẹ́ olùlọ́jọ́ kẹwàá oṣù kẹwàá sẹ́fẹ̀ gbọ́. Lọ́jọ́ tó ń sọjọ́ ìbí ọmọ aládìgbò lórí Sunday Adéyẹmọ. Májàsọ́lá Àdìsá aka Ìgbòho Òòṣà. Nípa bí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ìfẹ́lọ́dún àpapọ̀ Yorùbá àti gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀. Lábẹ́ ààrẹ wa ọmọọba Adédayọ̀ Fáládé àti igbákejì ààrẹ wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ àbẹ̀bí. Níyè lọ́kẹ̀kẹ̀ ìgbàlódé ìbámu pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ àti ẹ̀mí ìforihàn. Mágbékalẹ̀ àyẹ̀sí ọjọ́ ìbí Ìgbòho fún tọdún yìí pẹ̀lú àkọlé Dinner with Ìgbòho. Bákan náà làwọn ọmọ gba ọ̀pọ̀ ògbóni àgbáyé lálejò Tajudeen Ọlárẹ̀wájú Àjàlá láti wá ṣe àyẹ́sí fún olóyè Ìgbòho lọ́jọ́ náà. Tí ó wáyé nínú gbọ̀ngàn ńlá ní London Kensington 179-199 Holland Park Avenue London W11 United Kingdom. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ látago méje ìrọ̀lẹ́ nínú ilẹ̀ dago méjìlá òru. Bákan náà láti kí wa kún ìmúrasílẹ̀ ìwọ́de làmìlaka tẹgbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ ènìyàn tí ó wáyé nílùú ọba 1 million rally in London lọ́jọ́ kejìlá oṣù kẹwàá. Ó jẹ́ ọjọ́ kẹtàdínlá pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho. Lẹ́yìn tó Ọláyọmí Koikimedia àti kan lára rẹ̀ ó máa ṣàkóso rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ọ̀kan-ò-jọ̀kan àwọn àlàkalẹ̀ ìrọ̀rùn. Nípa bá ṣe máa fi ọkọ̀ àjàgbé ńlá ní London round bus gbé àwọn àgbààgbà àti àwọn abarapá gbogbo láti BBC in Oxford títí tí ìwọ́de ó fi parí sí Paris Trafalgar Square. Bọ́wájú ọjọ́ kẹtàlá ọjọ́ kẹrìndínlá with Ìgbòho láwọn máa ṣàbẹ̀wò lọ sí ìlú Manchester gan. Fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí i tàbí láti dá sí ètò ìfọlọ́dúnrún ẹ lè gbé tàbí kẹ́ WhatsApp Ọláyọmí Koiki lórí +447 594 050 979 yàtúgbé lórí +447 570 320 030 Tóyìn Ọláoyè lórí +447 896 018 764. Lápapọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá àgbáyé pátápátá ní àwọn ẹgbẹ́ ìfọlọ́dún àpapọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá fẹ́ kí ọmọ aládìgbò wípé ẹkú ọdún ẹkú ìyẹ̀dún àti ìsàmọ́dún àsàmọ́dún sẹ́ẹ̀dí ìtayà tọmọ. Yorùbá wọ́n ní ìyá ló ń kéde lórúkọ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá.
Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì Koikimedia níbi tí a tún ti fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìrìn àjò wa ní àṣálẹ́ yìí. Mo kí wa pé ṣé dáadáa ni gbogbo wa wà àti pé báwo ni ilé lọ́dọ̀ yín. Topic tá fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí lálẹ́ yìí tí a ṣe ń bá ìkànnì lọ week 15, very important topic. Mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ká fi ọkàn máa bá ètò yìí lọ nítorí pé láti bí ọ̀sẹ̀ mélòó kan sẹ́yìn ni a ti wà lórí irinṣẹ́ tí a gbé dání tó ń pè ní The Good News Path to Prosperity Orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá, put together by Professor Banji Akintoye. The introduction that I'm going to do quickly fanfan àwọn tí wọ́n ti tẹ̀lé wa lórí topic tá ń bá lọ yìí òun náà ni in the following pages I try to present the glorious picture of our soon-to-come country. Our Orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá, I try to describe the dreams that impelling millions of Yoruba men and women in all countries of the world. to engage seriously in the Yoruba self-determination struggle, to come together, countless self-determination organizations and clubs, to keep awake many hours, nights, after putting ideas from their disciplines and professions in writing about our soon-to-come country, shall be great, prosperous, and powerful in the world. God Almighty made us Yoruba people a great people of talent, intellect, and skills. Large numbers of us are now pouring out those gifts into ideas that will make our country one of the greatest and the most famous countries in the history of the world. And that will make us Yoruba people a loving, laughing, illuminated family of happy and contented men and women and children. A lot of intellectual and other effort by our people come to me as a father of our self-determination struggle. Altogether, they make me humble, happy, and proud. Employing my own speciality and insight, I here put forth point by point the main items of what I perceive to be our nation's purpose, determination, and expectation. I urge all my Yoruba people to read it, and I urge each to endeavor to bring the benefit of his or her speciality to bear on any of his various points. In its totality, this is a manifesto from those of us who are fighting for our sovereign Yoruba nation, our independent Yoruba country separate from Nigeria. I live in the unwavering faith and hope that our Yoruba country shall soon be free, and that thereafter we shall see the glory of God upon the life of our free sovereign Yoruba nation and upon all of us, the Yoruba people. So the topic tonight, if you have been reading the description in the comment section, is a very vital topic. A topic that most of us know, but due to one reason or the other, we are not yet familiarizing that the reason why we are in danger has got to do with the topic that we're going to be treating tonight. And that topic says in the week 15, we shall evolve the best immigration policy. What is the meaning of immigration? And why is it tough when it comes to immigration? This is all I'm going to be discussing in the course of the program. Please do not distract, and please do not tell me to speak in Yoruba alone. I am not communicating to you alone. I am now communicating to many people around the world. Kàgbéga family, ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé bàtí bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́. Ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá. Ìṣọ̀kan kò ní nira. Ìkẹjẹ́ ká máa nípa, tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde, àsìkò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Mo kí gbogbo wa ní gbogbo ibikíbi tí ẹ ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, àní lè máa dárúkọ nítorí àsìkò wa ní àṣálẹ́ yìí. Àmọ́ fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tó ṣì ń béèrè pé kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ní October ní UK, òun ni pé bàbá wa Chief Dr. Sunday Adéyẹmọ wọ́n máa wà pẹ̀lú wa ní London láti ìjọ Friday tó jẹ́ the 11th day of the month of October níbi tí ayẹyẹ àti oúnjẹ jíjẹ tó máa wáyé nínú dínà tí tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì ṣì wà fún àwọn tí wọ́n bá nífẹ̀ẹ́ láti wà pẹ̀lú bàbá olóyè Ìgbòho láti bá wọn celebrate ọjọ́ ìbí wọn. Eléyìí máa jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ tí a máa jàǹfààní nígbà tí a ti ń gbérìn àjò yìí bọ̀ láti lè jókòó pẹ̀lú olóyè, ìyẹn àwọn tí wọ́n bá lè fẹ́ wọlé láti wá darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. It will cost £100. Àwọn kan ní ó ti cheap jù. We said let's cap it there. It will be a full course meal selected. So fáfàní ẹni tí ó bá fẹ́ wá kó tó di pé tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì máa tán, ẹ ṣì láǹfààní àti kàn sí gbogbo Yorùbá World Media àbí gbogbo àwọn nọ́mbà tí a máa fi ń ṣàlàyé fún wa pé bí ẹ bá gẹ̀tì mi tẹ bá ti pe ìkànnà àwọn medias wa náà ẹ ti gẹ̀tì mi náà ni. Gbogbo wa náà lájọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ yìí. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́ wá ẹ má jẹ́ kí ó pẹ́ jù nígbà tá a máa fi wá jáde pé kò sí tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì mọ́. Tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ níra lẹ́nu ọ̀nà. It has to be purchased in advance. So tẹ́ bá fẹ́, October is going very soon. This is the last week of the month of August. Ọlọ́run àbò gbogbo wa ní àṣírí tó ti ń bò kò ní tú. Àmọ́ jẹ́ ká máa rántí pé bí a ṣe ń prepare fún dínà yìí tó bá máa dijọ́ Saturday a máa wọnú agbami London lọ. Olóyè fi ń dá mi lójú pé òun fúnra ara òun ní agbára Elédùmarè, lágbára àwọn tó láyé tó lọ́run, lórúkọ ti àwọn bàbá àti tọmọ àti ti àwa ti mùsùlùmí pé òun lòun máa lead rally yẹn nínú London. That's a fantastic one for us to be proud of. To show to the world that we want the same immigration policy that the UK, Canada, France, America, Australia. Oh, lè pagiri kó náà lọ sáwọn ìlú yẹn. You go through the process of immigration by applying for a visa. Either your spouse visa, your student visa, your education visa, your work visa. There are multiple different visas for immigration. So the topic tonight is very unique. And that is what we're going to be treating for the week or the Sunday. So, adra purpose tí a ṣe ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n fẹ́ wá fún rally ni pé ẹ múra sílẹ̀. There is a fleece which is going to be something like what I'm putting on. Torí òtútù àti máa sọ̀kalẹ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀. It might not be as cold, but we know that we want our people to be warm. There will be a bus service, but we're also asking for your donation towards this event. This is a spectacular event that you don't want to miss. Tó bá ń kàtàn ní ọjọ́ ọ̀la pé ǹjẹ́ o wà níbẹ̀ nígbà tó lóye wá, because nobody knows what is going to happen after the rally. Even if I know, I will not say. But all I can say is that the question táwọn èèyàn ń béèrè ni pé why the rally in the UK? UK ni ó amalgamate in Nigeria, and the de-amalgamation of Nigeria would also take place from UK through the awareness and the campaign that we have been doing. But also, we have a new government in place, which is different from the previous government that run this country to where it is today in terms of their policies. Some of their policies did not favor the Yoruba people. I am talking about the Yoruba that have been campaigning toward our law. Could it be that the Labour Party might have a sympathy? This is the reason why we want to be showcasing the Yoruba sovereign self-determination inalienable right to the new Labour government of Sir Keir Starmer, where we will move from the BBC Broadcasting House on the Saturday from about 10 a.m. prompt. We will then walk all the way through the Regent Street with a police escort. There will be no intimidation. There will be no tear gas as the one in Nigeria. Be rest assured that you can bring your children, and they can also be rest assured that there will be maximum safety for every one of us, with many volunteers that are traveling from around the world, America, Finland. People are already booking their ticket. Take it as a day off. Thank you, in the UK. Àwọn àlejò tá fẹ́ gbà, it will be unfair fún àwọn àlejò tó ń bọ̀ láti ta tó máa ra most latest with the cheapest ticket somebody would buy about over 800 depending on where they're coming from. So ẹ jẹ́ káwa tá wà ní UK, ní England, ní Scotland ká darapọ̀ torí pé a fẹ́ jẹ́ kí àgbáyé náà mọ̀ pé immigration tí Buhari ṣí sílẹ̀ òun ló fa the influx of the Fulani terrorists tí a ní lénìí, and that is the topic that we're going to be treating. So I want you to sit back. Please do not disrespect this platform. I will monitor the comment section. I will curse you. I will do that and I'll kick you out of this platform. There are many platforms that are speaking. I was looking at Telegram. Telegram has nothing less than 300 and something million followers. And they probably will not even know how many of them. We don't have the numbers, but if you respect this platform, we will allow you to remain on this platform. If otherwise, you have the right to go somewhere else. And for our usual ones that are currently respected this platform, share the program and invite your friends. We will run this program for about 1 hour, maximum 1 hour, 30 minutes. It will not be the 3 hours program. There's so many other things that is going on. Mudukwe fún gbogbo meetings tó ń lọ back to back from all different organizations. 2 meetings I was involved this evening. Fantastic evening with a lot of discussion about Yoruba nation. That is all I can tell you. One day we will be free. And for those of you that are playing pranky, thinking that you're smart, we are hearing your moves, especially the derail movement here again. But rest assured that I am getting all the intelligent report on my desk. Gbogbo kùrùkẹrẹ yín wọ London jáde, lọ America, lọ Germany, lọ Spain, lọ Italy, lọ Nigeria. All the report is coming to me. But I'll keep that for now because it's not here for the public consumption. Mo dúpẹ́ fáwọn intelligent me. Tinubu has already brought in a new director DG for the DSS. It is not too late because we hope that this one will not go after people like us to kidnap and rendition back to Nigeria like the former Fulani bastard did. Let's just hope that as the NIA has also left, maybe they are preparing their final burial for Bola Tinubu. But like I said, Nigeria is sitting on the keg of gunpowder. Ọmọ Yorùbá ló wà níbẹ̀, ọmọ Yorùbá ní DG, ọmọ Yorùbá náà ló fi ṣe this and that. It is just as shit hole. Because tó bá máa fi ṣe tán, they kick every one of them out and they bring in the Fulani oligarch and they will open the borders again. If the border is locked. I had another meeting in the morning as I spot somebody, I'm not going to mention the name, as Fulani continue to destroy many farmland across Yoruba land. 38 minutes was the discussion. I can tell you that most of àwọn tó ń disturb àwọn èèyàn wa nínú ilé, àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń ní màlúù tó gbé fún Fulani ni. Wọ́n mọ́ra wọn. Intimidation is on the highest level right now in Yoruba land. Wọ́n intimidate àwọn èèyàn. And that is the reason why you should expect that not everybody wants Yoruba nation. This has been a very long day for me, back to back. I have spoken and I will continue to say, Bowunyi Tibatu Shetan, ẹ lọ sọ fún CSI. Like I said, ẹ lè dárin wa rú nítorí pé kí ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ làwa méjèèjì àdèmá kó yín délẹ̀ lérí. Mo ní èmi ni last man standing gbogbo yín on this journey. Let's sit back and enjoy the program. Mo kí Professor Banji Akintoye. So we're going to read as usual this beautiful topic and then I will start discussing. Later on, before the week runs down, we will bring in your own discussion into it. But the immigration is the most important tools. 24 years I have lived in the UK. Without a UK visa 24 years ago, I would not have been in this country. They could have even said to me, we're not going to give you the visa, but I was able to get the visa with a proper interview as against what most of you are enjoying today, which is called drop-off. I had to travel to Abuja to apply for the British visa to come to this country. They could have said no, but the reason why they gave me was because they looked at it and said, it's such a genuine reason that you said you want to go. I changed that genuine reason when I arrived here, just like many of you. You don't japa leni. Our country Japan 24 years ago. If you can still get your visa to UK, you might as well just join us on the rally as well. So let's go with it straight away. As I said, I have a very limited time on this transmission tonight. We shall evolve the best immigration policy as we expect many of our nationals will immediately live in places that used to be part of Nigeria and now beyond our borders, or will have homes of vital interest there. Conversely, many former citizens of Nigeria who are not our nationals will live in our country or have homes or other vital interest in our country. The management of this situation demands the most constructive diplomacy and statesmanship from us. The objective must be that all persons in these categories will be able to pursue their lives and businesses in peace wherever they choose to live, and we will have transparent protection of the law in the management and disposal of their businesses, properties, and other assets. It is quite possible that difficulties may arise from any of other parties that we must negotiate with in these matters, but we must keep a cool head and lead in working out sensible and compassionate solutions with all concerned. A crucial factor in all these will no doubt be speed in the making of our transitional immigration laws, especially immigration laws spelling out guarantees of protection for non-Yoruba former Nigerians on our soil and for their families, properties, businesses, and other assets, and including guarantees of asset protection of those who may choose to return to their native homelands, leaving assets behind. Then they will need to create expeditiously the permanent immigration laws for our country to establish the rules of immigration, the various kinds of status for immigrants, and the process of nationalization. The various kinds of status for immigrants and the process for naturalization. The laws should provide special naturalization privilege for those people formerly Nigerians, originally from other parts of Nigeria, who live on our land before the creation of our country, to enable them, if they so choose, to become citizens without difficulty or delay under the laws, under our laws. That is a very simple one, and that means I have ample of time between now and Sunday to break these down bit by bit. Ẹ jẹ́ n kọ́kọ́ ṣàlàyé fún wa ní èdè Yorùbá nípa immigration policy. Immigration policy tí kò bá wà articulated, tí wọ́n bá gbé ètò immigration policy dáadáa, a máa ní oríṣiríṣi ìbàjẹ́ àti àdánù tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Òun ni bàbá Akintoye ló ṣe sọ pé ká ka gbogbo ilé jáde, the good news path to prosperity in our ORILEEDE Yoruba by Professor Banji Akintoye. Now, let's come back into the discussion because of the time. Kí ló ń pè ní immigration? Let me first ask immigration. When we look at the word immigration, immigrant, migration is different from immigration. But ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo, according to the English dictionary, what the word immigration stands for and why it is important to get into the UK. Kí ló fà? It is because of their immigration laws. Kí ló fà tí àti máa lọ America ó le gan? It is because of their immigration laws. Kí ló dé tí Dubai ṣe ń sọ pé òun ò gbọ́ sí Tinubu lẹ́nu? Because they cannot continue to have criminals in the Nigerians that are creating havoc within Nigeria, even though you can say àwọn ọmọ Igbo ni, What about the Yorubas that are creating crime as well there? What about the others? Immigration laws is very, very important. Remember that Buhari, the dead or alive, released the border of Yoruba land, the southeast, and every part of Nigeria to many immigrants. Only one right láti wá sínú Nigeria. Kódà only one need visa. I don't know where that could have happened. Is because they have a different agenda. As I'm going to be explaining, immigration spelled IMMIGRATION, as in India, Mike, India, Golf, Romeo, Alpha, Tango, India, Oscar, November. Immigration, the process through which individuals become permanent residents or citizens of another country. Níjọ́kíjọ́ tá bá ti kúrò nínú Nigeria, that we establish our own independent autonomous Yoruba country. Every other person that is not part of us from the beginning, I mean the beginning of Omo Yoruba Gongon, whether you get married, that will have to go through immigration, but there will be some little leeway, especially for our former neighbors, because they will become the neighbors. I will explain all that to you in the sense of how the British citizen and the European citizens were automatically not in any fight after the UK left EU in 2016. Many European citizens that wanted to remain in the UK were given the leeway to live here permanently to work because what's in the relationship pẹ̀lú wọn tẹ́lẹ̀. So ẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa ń béèrè question pé ṣé kò ń ṣe pé ẹ fẹ́ dájà lẹ̀ láàrin ọkọ àti ìyàwó? All that is very simple. It is under the immigration rules. The immigration rules will deal with all that, and that means that ẹni tó fẹ́ Igbo ó ní right láti gbé nínú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ẹni tó fẹ́ Hausa ó ní right láti gbé nínú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, because they are already married, engaged with someone, and also then there will be more stiff conditions in the near future. The UK does not want everybody to come here because they don't trust you. I did the same thing, so don't tell me, oh my daddy, you are not going to go out. I came here 24 years ago and I have not returned back to Nigeria, even though my returning back to Nigeria was only on a very, very short period. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 4 months, 3 months. That means that I have decided to live in this country. But do you know what happened? Nígbà tí mo wọlé, wọ́n tilẹ̀kùn mọ́ mi. It took 15 years to fight the immigration just to leave back out of the airport. You know why? Because I never told them I was going to be living here. It was after I arrived here, I then started application for immigration rules that then said, but when you were coming, oh, so you told us you were coming for a different reason. But you can also have that prepared for many of you. Lọ́jọ́ iwájú, àkànmá ṣílẹ̀kùn fún anybody kó wọlé, a máa tilẹ̀kùn mọ́ most of you. We will fingerprint you, we will facial fingerprint you, we will do whatever it takes to protect the lives of every sons and daughters of the Yoruba in the near future. From the Igbos, the Hausas, the Ijos, and the people that we have lived before. We've got to protect not just the foreigners that will live with us, like I am being protected here this morning in the UK. We would also make sure that the Yoruba citizens will never be threatened by anyone, not even the Igbos, not even the Hausas, not to talk about the Fulanese. We will go after anybody that wants to take our citizens, whether it's in America, whether it's the UK. We will make sure that the government work tirelessly to protect our interest outside the shores of our country. That is what the American does. That is what the UK does. Even as I speak to you tonight, there is a stuff going on between Russia and France, because the Telegram founder, even though he has left Russia, could be in Russia more, because only disagreement with the government based on data release of people on his platform. But do you know that the Russian government are still saying that Omo Awani, and they must give him every right, just like Facebook owner, just like Twitter owner. But is it because he's a Russian citizen? That is why he has been stopped while he was en route in France in the last couple of days. He has 94 hours for them to charge him to court or allow him to go out of France, where he will be returning back to United Arab Emirates, where he lives. So you can see that these are governments that are prepared to defend their citizen, even the citizen who are against it. As I will give you also, the WikiLeaks founder that was held in UK for a very long time, Julian Assange. Julian Assange was someone that the America had interest to return to America, but he was able to do whatever he needed to do. It took a bit of years, over 2 decades, if not a little bit less. But what happened? The Australian government assured America that and yet he did not return to America. He was able to apply through a lot of things. They were looking into the case, and eventually he flew from London on a $500,000 private jet that stopped closer to the American territorial borders, where he signed some few documents, and from there he flew out again straight to Australia. The Australian government, that is what we will do for you as a Yoruba citizen. Nigeria will never give you such, because Nigeria does not value you as a citizen today. Lojo Waju, we, a Yoruba government, that myself and you will be involved, that myself and you will build brick by brick without no intimidation. We protect you because we will have the best immigration policy and the foreign policy to protect the interest of the sons and daughters of Yoruba. But Nigeria, you will not enjoy all these benefits until death comes to you. So when we talk about immigration, immigration, historically, it is the process of immigration as being of great social, economic, and cultural benefit to the state. And that is why the British people must understand that whatever they are looking in the case of many immigrants that have resided in this country is because of what they've done in the past, whether through their policies, the colonial time, the slave trade. And this is what our sister had to remind them of history.
Let me tell you, dirty, dingy, dusty, racist prick Sutton, yeah? You want to start racist riots around the UK, but you don't know your fucking history. Well, I'm here to give you a history lesson. The reason why immigrants came to this dusty, dingy fucking country is because half of your men were wiped out by World War fucking II. They didn't do it because they wanted equality. They didn't do it because they wanted diversity. They wanted black people to come over to this country and rebuild it again. And you want to know the real reason why you won World War II is because India, India sent around 1.2 million Indians to come and fight the fucking fight because they were part of the Commonwealth, you understand? So if you knew your fucking history, you wouldn't be going after immigrants so fucking hard. America didn't save your ass, Clark. It was India, yeah? And you're talking about you want your jobs back. What fucking jobs are you talking about? Where are they? Are they on Indeed? Are they on Total Jobs? Where are they? Because there's 9 million jobs, that you can access, that you can fucking apply for. So where the fuck are these immigrants taking jobs? What, you want toilet cleaning? You want office cleaning jobs? You want carer jobs? You want car wash jobs? You want nail salon jobs? You want barbershop jobs? That's what you're angry about. The reason why you don't have those fucking jobs is because you don't have the skill set. You don't add to anything. You are labourers. That is what your history is known for. You are factory workers. You are miners. Most of you live in, I suggest you look towards the Houses of Parliament, because those are the people who put you in poverty. And you can throw all the racist parties you want. We ain't fucking going anywhere, so get fucking used to it. And if it weren't for the immigrants that came over here and made your country great again, you'd be living with animals, piss and shit. Do you understand? Oh. And the homeless and the toothless can't tell me shit about this country. This is my country now. Do something. And I'm not talking about all white people. I'm talking about racist white people. And if you feel offended by this video, then it's you and me I can't talk.
Ní ọjọ́ iwájú nígbà tí orílẹ̀-èdè wa bá dé, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa máa jàǹfààní nǹkan pè ní immigration rules. Immigration ó ṣe pàtàkì, ó ṣe kókó. A ṣàlàyé àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tí ìjọba Buhari gbé tó ní ipa nínú ayé tó ń affect wa lénìí nípa ọrọ̀ ajé wa. Torí pé Buhari in tó ṣe ni pé ó ṣe jàǹbá fún ìran Yorùbá òun àti àwọn tí wọ́n jọ ṣèjọba yẹn. Irú jàǹbá wo ló ṣe? Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa mú ní lẹ́sẹ̀lẹ́sẹ̀ létòlétò. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa. Nígbà tí Buhari ń bẹ ní orí oyè, ó ṣe kí ni? Ó ṣí bọ́dà, ó ti bọ́dà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pa. Buhari orders immigration to close the borders. That was not because of the election. So many period of time he had to close the Yoruba borders. Those borders did not help the Yoruba people. We actually got affected by these rules of Buhari. But today, many Yoruba people do not even understand what it means. Láti mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa once again, which is the Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. As we say on this platform, we will continue to all right. So the immigration tí Buhari ṣe had a lot of impact on our lives, and those impacts we are still facing the consequence of it today. But a dúpẹ́ pé Ọlọ́run ó túbọ̀ fi ọgbọ́n àti òye I'm coming. I want to take us back to 2021, August, and I'm just picking one out of many of the articles that is out there. Immigration. Buhari has given us more responsibilities. Our borders will now be safe. Ṣé rò pé nígbà tí Buhari wà lórí oyè, borders were secured or our borders were let open? Let's hear from you in the comment section. According to Muhammadu Banda Dede, the Controller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS, says that President Muhammadu Buhari has given the agency more responsibilities on securing the nation's borders. Bandede stated this on Friday after a closed-door meeting with the president in Abuja. But we know that that was a lie. That was a big lie. Because Buhari left the borders open. And today, the impact is still being felt across Nigeria. Whether the northern part of Nigeria, where the Hausas have been killed and massacred, where students have been kidnapped, or the southeast, the middle belt of the Bendel has been destroyed, the plateau has been destroyed, the Yoruba land continues to suffer immensely because of the porous borders. All this was because of an agenda, the Ruga agenda, the waterways agenda. So Buhari knew what he was doing, and that is why it looks like the danger probably is now being felt a little bit by Tinubu, and two individuals left the position of what we call the highest position in Nigeria. These positions were controlled by the Fulanis for a very long time. How Tinubu managed to allow them to operate for another 1 year is what I don't know, because Ojakoti kicked one out. But like I always say, Tinubu is just another weak element that we have. Let me first take you back to these two individuals that were managing the affairs of what we know has changed in the last few hours. Tinubu has now appointed the Director General of the NIA and the DSS. These two positions are what we call the key factor of any economy. And if you cannot control your borders, your security, that means you are all dead, one by one. That is what has played out during the period of Buhari for 8 good years. Tinubu also left a little bit, but it seems that he's doing something around it. We will then find out whether there will be a slowdown of the insurgency into Nigeria. Already we have the sleeper cells. Some of them will not activate for a very long time. But the intelligent continue to say that even Tinubu is at a very high risk of being killed. Maybe he kept spelling something, and maybe the Northerners are also preparing the second phase of kick Tinubu out of office. And the two positions that have been held by the Fulani cabals, 1, 2, both resign. That sent a signal to people like us. They knew that they might be removed, or they probably just want to say to Tinubu, we are not longer going to allow you to remove us, but we will resign the position. Tinubu should have kicked them out from the first day. But like I said, Tinubu kò ní làákàyè kankan láti bí báyìí síbẹ̀ yẹn. When you want to make your country safe, as we believe is intelligent, you do not use the same people that you don't trust. You bring in the new people that can manage the affairs. That means that gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tí ikú ti pa látìgbà tí Tinubu ti wọlé is because he did not do the needful at the beginning. Whether this beginning will now make any changes for the period of the time that Nigeria will go kaput, but for now, we will monitor from now to the end of the year how many more Nigerians have died. How can we have what we call intelligent agency that has access to everything that you can think of, the technology, the funding, the money, yet Fulani paying to buy Jiyigbe, and they cannot trace the phone line to bust them and rescue many people? Oshokwe or what you want. We have said it continuously. The security of Nigeria is not secured, but many Nigerians do not want to accept that. Yes, don't expect Tinubu to bring an Igbo person to become the DIG or the DSS. I don't care whatever anybody say. Peter Obi will do the same thing. It is what they called why we should not be warned. So Tinubu is playing that card that Buhari played during his period, which Buhari was able to use. Only the Fulanis trusted. Tinubu is doing the same thing, using only the Yorubas, because he does not trust the Igbos, neither is he going to trust the Fulanis or the Hausas or any other ethnic people within the country called Nigeria. But in Yoruba, you will only enjoy these for a short period, even if Tinubu protect every one of us for the next 4 years so that our farmers can go back to the farm. That is subject to if they can go back to the farm. Because the police, Egbetokun, another stupid Yoruba man, that you would think that will have solved all the farmers' headers as we are told. As of today, I will not give the local government for security reason. I was on the phone for 38 minutes being debriefed about our Fulani tó ń yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu within the proximity of a farm. I am not talking about a small farm, somewhere in the southwest. I spoke to the DSS last week. Nothing has still yet been done. So that shows that Egbetokun, the IG, is as useless as another tissue paper. All this position means nothing because the real people that control Nigeria are the Sultan of Sokoto that the British give the full control to. But some of us wants to live in denial and try to say that, oh, don't talk about the British. They have nothing to do with Nigeria anymore. Well, maybe that is your own argument. But Nigeria still remain under the British rules. And until the Yorubas, the Biafra, the Arewas, the Ijaw, everybody goes their separate ways. Then you will not be secured in Nigeria. So Tinubu appoints this new DG of the National Nigeria Intelligence Agency and the DSS. Two very important positions that have been abused. Tinubu also have the right to abuse them, make use of them until he exits that position, because he needs to be protected so that they don't kill him. How long he has waited? Maybe something has been put into the air condition. Maybe he's dying slowly. We don't know. But we know that Tinubu went to France recently. I am telling you, I don't have the details of what and reason why he visited France. It's not because of the Chinese aircraft and issues. It's more to that. But it seems that Tinubu has just woken up from the inducement that he has been. That, kí ló dé tí mo ti lẹ́yìn lọ? Mo ti gbé kékeré ẹkùn wá. Chief Justice of Nigeria, ọmọ Yorùbá ni, we are happy. Oya DG, Gaga, DSS, Gaga, ọmọ Yorùbá. And the Yoruba people will be excited, at least for a short period of time. Apapa is Yoruba, Ọlọ́pàá Yoruba, but in tí gbogbo yín ò mọ̀ ni pé ìjọ tí Tinubu náà bá ti ṣetán ní ọ́fíìsì, wọ́n máa kick gbogbo wọn out, and then another set of Fulani will go back in again. That is if they allow him to complete his tenure. Because remember that these two positions were held by the Fulanis for a very long time. Even bringing the Yoruba man in, they know every routine. They know where all the terrorists are. Remember that Tolulokpa Rotile was killed by them because she was eliminating many. Remember that many Yoruba police, security, army, DSS that are also part of the security system, and the Igbos and the other ethnics were never given opportunity, because the Bichi, that guy that left, and the one that is the NIA, they were part of the cabals. Tinubu knows the cabals, but he doesn't want me to know who the cabals are. Maybe he has now decided that let the first two cabals that are going to be a threat to his life to be removed. Or maybe there's something that France told him that he's now acting on. I don't know why it took him 1 year before he kicked these two bastards out of office. He could have done that from the first day if he was a serious man in charge. But he's not in charge. But it seems maybe they've told him, go ahead now and kick them out. Because these two are part of the immigration problem that we have in the whole of the country called Nigeria. So taban sọ̀rọ̀ nípa immigration. Let's go back again to Buhari. Buhari kept having meetings and meetings with different people regarding immigration. But speaking with the State House correspondent after the meeting with the dead or alive Buhari, the Comptroller General said the agency has also put new measures in place to address illegal immigration. Now, every part of the world goes through illegal immigrants. America is facing a high level of migrants through Mexico. And the election campaign between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump is also being focused on immigration, because Kamala Harris was meant to be in charge of the borders, but according to the Trump campaign, those borders were not secured. Tẹ́ bá rántí pé nígbà tí Trump wà lórí oyè, lọ́ní, let's start raising the walls because we don't want anybody to infiltrate and come in. When you don't know people that are coming into your country, what then happens is that you would have all manners and different kind of people. I remember the privilege that I got when I went to Nigeria in 2021 was to get a better eye-opener of how immigrants were flooding into Nigeria. We traveled to a location I will not mention. And as soon as we got to that location, myself and the CSI and the security, we met people doing illegal mining. We caught them right on the spot. But what we were told is that they are not even the Fulanese. These are people from the Senegalese. They are all different African countries. None of them have immigration papers. And that went like Ojo Emiloju, because it's like for people like us that have lived in the UK and understand what immigration is all about, and to return back to a country and realize that people just walk in and walk out without being monitored. That shows that apart from the resources Donji, there are also national security threat to Nigeria. And that is what has been playing out since the bombing of the UN building, which started the Boko Haram as well. So the UN building that was bombed in Nigeria was the beginning of many things that is going to play out that we monitor today in Nigeria. Let me just take us back, because I don't want to focus only on Buhari. I want to even take you back to the PDP, because they are as useless as tissue paper. They are all criminals, and that is the reason why Nigeria more. Most of us have forgotten, but the job of me is to remind you some of those activities. In 2011, we all woke up. It was a Friday, and all we knew was Abuja was on fire, and I mean serious fire. And why? Because there was a bomb that exploded on the Friday, the 26th of August 2011, in the capital city known as the Abuja. But the reason why it went even faster around the world is because it was a United Nations building. 21 people lost their lives. May their soul rest in peace. 60 were wounded. That is what we were told. But I can tell you that you can multiply that by 3. According to the spokesperson from the Sunni Islamic group Boko Haram, later claimed the responsibility. Now, yesterday, there was another crisis in Abuja. I'm sure some of you must have seen that. I will explain to you what happened in Abuja yesterday. And this is playing out between two different Islamic sects, the Shiite Muslim and the Sunni. The Sunni Islamic group claimed responsibility for that bomb attack in Abuja during that period. But yesterday, the Shiite that is backed by Iran, according to the Nigerian government, continue to believe that they are also terrorists, even though they are claiming that they are not. So, our Yoruba at Wawa Laarin Meji, we are living with two different sets of Islam within Nigeria. Even though we have the moderate Islam in the Yoruba side, even though we also know that we are getting, the fanatics that are building up within the Kwara, coming down to Kogi axis inside the Yoruba land. But these two religions, these two different sects, could be another problem in the near future if we could not or would not tackle our country out of Nigeria, because Tabatigba country tiwa, that is when we can put immigration policy. I want to take you back again to Mutab, the American airline bomber. How many of you remember him? He was a Nigerian that was traveling on the America. Farouk Abdul Mutab. How many people remember? You've forgotten. That is why I'm here for you. The shoe bomber. Yeah, thank you so much. Triple DRS. The shoe bomber. Let's go back to the BBC website and let me give you the profile of Umar Farouk Abdul Mukhtar. Umar Farouk Abdul Mukhtar was a 24-year-old Nigerian man who has pleaded guilty. When you plead guilty, it means that you have committed the crime. If you have been found not guilty, you will go home and you could also be compensated. The reason why your former Senator Ike Ikerimadu, and I pray by the time he coming out of the prison, Nigeria will have dissolved. He was found guilty, and I'm sure you all know the reason why, including his wife. That is the kind of policy that we want to see, that even if you are coming into our country, we have the right to hold you and take you to the court and not maltreat you, but we will allow our court system to deal with you. That is the future Yoruba country that I want. I do not want to be in a future Nigeria country that all these that I'm explaining to you right now is playing out. I'm telling you about the UN building. Hold on to that. 2011. Let's go back to Umar Farouk, the shoe bomber. He was a 24 years old Nigerian man who has pleaded guilty to trying to blow up a transatlantic flight on a Christmas day 3 years before the United Nations bombing. This was in 2009. Otikweabi. We have all been in danger for a very long time, but we didn't know. Thumbs up if you can for me, please. It just encouraged me to do more. That is all I can say, and share this program. We are in danger. Taba jade nínú Nigeria, we cannot protect our borders. Tinubu can help us protect it, subject to whether we agree with him or not, for the next 4 years. But he will not be able to protect it for too long. But he has not protected it anyway. But Igboho has done so. Like him, hate him, disagree with him. Igboho fi ọmọ kan wọn lẹ Yorùbá pé tó bá ṣe ń sọ pé èèyàn wà Igboho ni èèyàn náà. And let me say this to some of you that think that people like us, because of your own stupid mentality, and some of you are born bastard. If you think that people like us, I'm talking about people like me, will be the last person to compromise CSI. Look at me very well. You will not find that in me. I will stand with him all the way through. In the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have gone through it already. 2021 was very ugly. Very, very ugly. He could have been dead. I could also have died. Ewo mi dada. Ewo mi dada. I will stand with CSI till the end. It does not matter what any of your bombastic politician thinks. It does not matter what those that are planning their regional governments and they are moving kurukere, kurukere. Every report is coming to the desk. But let me say this. Igbowo will be the end of Nigeria soon. But you want to know how. And you expect me to tell you how. You will wait to when that how would happen itself. And I'll just leave it like that. Let's come back to the program because I have another half an hour to complete this program. Again, 24 years old, was ready to blow out a whole aircraft. But our Yoruba ti soon. Professor Banji Akintoye rose up and said, the only thing that can save us is this document. And I mean this document. Not the one they're telling you there's a document somewhere. This document that I've just read to you, telling us we shall evolve the best immigration policy. We will go after people like these, people like many of them that are ready to kill the Yoruba people in the near future. But the longer Tabawa in Nigeria, we don't have the power to do so. Every one of your dirty, stinking, idiot politicians are sold out. They do not have sympathy. I'm still trying to verify. 730 million naira monthly is the security budget. Don't find governors were. I'm still trying to verify that. 730 million naira. That is a staggering amount of money. Imbolonko yesi. Níbo ni wọ́n kó owó yẹn sí. You can see that the politicians do not want Yoruba nation, do not want the best immigration policy for. All they want is for us to continue to stay in Nigeria and allow many of Umar Farouk Abdul Mukhtar, as far back as 2009, is currently in the prison where he would die anyway because America is not going to release him back out. We will have multiple prisons like that to keep them there. We will feed them and we allow them to die inside the prison so that they will not be out to attack not even the Yorubas alone in the country, all the foreigners, expatriates that will eventually work in the Yoruba country with us in the near future. And all our neighbors that we've lived together like the Biafrans, the Hausas, the Ijos, because they will be living with us, but with our own rules and regulation on immigration. This man, because he's not a young boy. In Europe, if you're 16, you are already classified as an adult. You can even start applying for your driver license. Umar Farouk Abdul Mukhtar, as the son of one of the Nigerian most prominent businessmen, how many of them, of their children, are just not ordinary people, but the ones that are ready to kill you right inside that Eco Hotel, right inside Lagos that you think is protected, right in Oyo State, in every part of Yoruba land. They are just ordinary rich business Fulani man, but their children are already fanatics that are ready to take many lives. And that is part of what played out when he wanted to blow a transatlantic flight on a Christmas day when people are celebrating, regardless of whether you celebrate Christmas or not. He had access to international travel. You don't have access to international travel, but these Fulanis have prepared their children for Jowaju. They've lived with us. You would think that they are just an ordinary people that are living with us. I am not Fulani. We are already thinking about the ones that are in control, like the DIG and the ones of the DSS. I mean, yes, the NIA and the DSS. But Tinubu now has kicked them out to slow down whatever agenda, because Malafia told us they are still going to attack. Tiwa Danjuma told us the military is already compromised. So there's no doubt that Tinubu is not going to solve everything, because these issues have been there as far back as 2009. Tinubu is aware of it as well, I'm sure. But intervention isn't, maybe I should slow it down. But if he does not divide Nigeria, we are all still in danger. So let's go back to the shoe bomber. Many of Omo Yoruba lẹ́yìn tó ń suffer ní access in. I mean, this young man had access. Do you know what they call access? A-double-C-E-S-S. Access. That means ole jade. Many of us now, we love our family to come and pay us a courtesy visit around the world. How many of them have been rejected visas? But these ones that are ready to bomb and kill, they all have access. Lord Jawaju, we can slow all these things down. But Tebane Efe Nigeria, Efe Yoruba country, then prepare for more of them. And we have seen the replica. I am not trying to put the blame on Tinubu now. That is why I have gone back to 2009, when I believe it was Obasanjo that was in power. So this problem is already with us. How do we get out of it? Is it by Tinubu being the president? You are joking. It cannot stop what they have already prepared according to their forefather, Uthman Dan Fodio, that says that we will dip the Quran right inside. Even though àwọn náà ní clashes between the Shiite and the Sunnis. Remember that I told you that the United Nations attack, the building that was bombed, was got to do with the Shiites. 1 minute. The UN building that we talked about earlier had to do, I missed that already now. All right, I'll pick that in a minute. All right, let's go back here. Where's my BBC? Okay, yeah. The building attack, a spokesman for the Islamic group spoke to the BBC. It's only BBC that have access to them all the time. You might be wondering why. BBC was able to speak to them on the phone, just like BBC spoke to Abiola as they were taking him away, and that was the final we saw him. Abiola's dead body returned back to us in the southwest. But he was in the vehicle when he was speaking to the BBC with the hope that they would sort things out. He died. I hope Tinubu will not also speak to the BBC. I hope so. The spokesman for the Islamic group Boko Haram told the BBC in a phone call that it had carried out the attack. Yet, the intelligence could not trace which call they were using. Is it a satellite phone that was encrypted? And how many people have been kidnapped in Nigeria today and they're making phone calls? You will cry. But that cry will happen if we do not leave Nigeria. If we leave Nigeria, our cry will reduce drastically. But if you say we should save Nigeria, many people will cry and we will not be able to solve and help them. The only way we can help people now is to stop the Fulanization agenda that wants to wipe the Yoruba people off the surface of the earth. So, then it was Ban Ki-moon. I remember very well. The UN chief Ban Ki-moon said the attack was an assault on those who devote their life for helping others. Speaking before the Boko Haram statement, okay, it was Jonathan that was in power then, I guess. President Goodluck Jonathan reaffirmed his government's total commitment Look at that. Combating terrorism, and said his administration will spare no effort to bring the perpetrator to justice. Let me bring you closer home to the NBA event that has taken place in the last couple of days, which is about 48 hours ago, where the beautiful mother, Akintoye.We, spoke. And I'm sure some of you have listened to what she said. I'll tell you what she has said in just about a few minutes. Nigeria, we are playing with fire. And the longer tabak beninoe, ó léwu tó pọ̀. Kí ni mo sọ? Ó ní ewu. Ewu yẹn kẹ̀rẹ̀ ó ti súnmọ́ gbogbo wa. And that is something that some of us cannot hold anymore. That is the reason why we are coming out back to back, daily, night, morning, just to say that enough is enough. We need to get the hell out of Nigeria and protect the interest of the Yoruba people. So that our lives will no longer be used as a ransom. And if we are going to do that, it has to be now, not tomorrow. There's no time to waste anymore. We have already wasted too much time. And as we all know, what we can do right now is that the politicians are playing with our lives. They have no respect for anybody, and they are not ready to help us to protect ourselves. They've left everybody open, and we got to stop it now before it is too late. Bear with me in a minute. Good evening and welcome. If it's the first time watching this platform, it is called the Yoruba Nation Self-Determination Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. As we say all the time on this platform, we can only speak the truth. We hope many of you would accept the truth, because it is only the truth that can save you and save me, so that we can join hands together and call out our politicians and also join the rally in London in October, so that everybody can finally be free of the bondage and the shackles that we found ourselves in. I want to play now Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Special Envoy to mobilize international economic support for continent. I'm sure some of you know her very well. She spoke just about a few hours ago, or a few days ago, and this is what she has to say.
Country for political purposes. Security has been weaponized in our country for political purposes by political actors, leading partly to the difficult situation we have now. We have politicians who believe that the best way to make their opponents look bad is to instigate insecurity, making it look like they can't govern, regardless of whether this leads to loss of life and property of innocent Nigerians. This has to stop. Security has been weaponized in our country for political purposes by political actors, leading partly to the difficult situation we have now. We have politicians who believe that the best way to make their opponents look bad is to instigate insecurity, making it look like they can't govern, regardless of whether this leads.
Look at the reaction of Shetima. That is Shetima there. Look at his reaction, the body language of the vice president. I will leave that for you to judge. Now, because we have 15 minutes to the end of this program, let's go back to this and see what Baba Akintoye is telling us in this best immigration policy. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tá a ti jọ gbé tẹ́lẹ̀ nínú Nigeria, some of them might decide that, look, we can't do with these Yoruba people anymore, and they have every right to walk out. The ones that wants to remain will now have to abide by the new rules that we will not make difficult for them because they are our neighbors anyway. But we will be able to tab everybody just like it is done in the UK. I am touching bit by bit. Remember that we have a whole week to treat this topic. So we're not going to cover everything tonight. And I hope you will join me up to Sunday, where we will continue to discuss stage by stage. So let me bring you back to the EU citizens and the BRICS exit, how all that played out, so that you can have a background. The EU migration to and fro from the UK. How did all this played out? You know, how many EU citizens left the UK after the BRICS exit? How many do you think left? Because you might be wondering, people that are lived with years, worked here, some of them are married here, but some decided to go back. So in the near future, you might see more of those they will work out. But the ones that doesn't work out believe that, okay, we can live with you, but they will have to respect the Yoruba people government in the near future. How many European citizens stayed in the UK as well after the BRICS exit? According to the census of 2021, found that 3.6 million citizens resident in England and Wales were born in the European Union, an equivalent of 36.4% of all non-UK born residents. The significant discrepancy in data comes from the fact that the scheme was opened in 2019 and there is an unknown number of people who no longer live in the UK. But according to report that we know then, forced to become British, our BRICS exit created a new European diaspora. Our neighbors will become new immigrants, even though we have lived together. They would all have to go through a new immigration system so that we can capture them, because we want to know who they are. Because we were all living in one country called Nigeria, but since that we have break away from Nigeria, we need to know them. We don't have their data. That means they would all be given opportunity to present themselves to a province, a center for biometric capture, just like the British do as well, to many of us that decide that we don't want to go back to our country. You will be captured. Even those of you that are coming for student visa, you are already captured. Even those of you that wants to live with whatever visa, you will be captured, and that is also replicated to all the countries around the world. Forced to become the British, our BRICS exit created a new European diaspora. Many European residents felt compelled to seek citizenship, but the things that BRICS exit made are not the rest. Kirsten Whitehouse was watching the news on TV in the early hours of the morning when they had cold fact that the United Kingdom had voted to leave European Union. Many did not understand what would be their immigration policy. So you man worry nipa all these little issues, because there are little issues than the bigger issues. The bigger issues is to defend and protect the territorial ground of Yoruba land in the near future. The whole of immigration is just policies, and policies will continue to be reviewed and reviewed and reviewed through the government of the day of Yoruba land and the immigration minister of the future Yoruba country. So one Arabian only realized that, wow, UK have exit the European Union market, and what is at stand? How would she continue to live in the UK? Because when they were one single body, nobody was checking, where are you from? Oh, are you EU because they were one body. The same thing would happen. We would not allow one person that has not been captured to be running around, Yoruba land, moving from point A to B. Our police officer will stop you and they will take you to a detention center. Like many people have been to that detention center. It's not a crime. It's just to detain you and verify who you are. We will take you to the police. If the police cannot verify you, we will look after you. You will sleep in the cell, and the next day you will be taken to the detention camp where you will then have to be screened to know who you are, because you might be one of those criminals that we are looking for, or you have probably just forgotten that there's no more Nigeria. You get that? It's going to happen. So prepare your mind if you are not a Yoruba citizen, born by a Yoruba mother, born by the Yoruba father. That is what they call Yoruba people. But the one that marry is just going to be, either you will naturalize yourself through a Yoruba country, or you will just be given a resident status alone. Many people are not full British citizens. They have what they call just indefinite stay, just to come in and go out. And some might think that it is time for them to become a full British citizen after eating fish and chips or love the weather. You will do life in Yoruba land test. You will go and study Yoruba language, and you will swear allegiance to the Yoruba government before you can be given a Yoruba citizenship in the near future. I'll be discussing more about this in the next conversation throughout the week. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ̀yin ò ní láti worry. Automatic citizenship ni wọ́n. We will then have government that will create the permanent immigration laws that will then be used for our new country to establish the rules of regulation immigration. If we have to build double the size of America wall, which they are building right now, they've already built enough, they're still building more to protect our borders. We will build it from wherever the point starts up to the final point. We will use satellites. We will use everything. Nobody can kidnap you. Lọ́jọ́ kò sí criminal kan tó máa lọ tá ní mú. Let me tell you, while I'm sitting here in the last few minutes and monitoring my ex, let me just give you that there has been a big event today known as the Carnival. And I'm just reading 11 hours ago. Metal detector up at the Notting Hill Carnival. That means that they want to know who is carrying weapon. Go to one crowd, because we don't want anybody to kill anybody with knife in the UK. Nigeria is not ready to protect anybody. Those criminals want us to be killed one by one while they move in bulletproof vehicles, helicopter, private jet, and forget about the ordinary citizen called Nigerians, because nobody's called Nigerians until the Lugard amalgamation that happened. So all these are the future reason why we are saying that let's get the hell out of Nigeria so that we can have the best immigration rules that can defend and protect every single one of us. But if you disagree, you are likely to be one person that might die before the end of Nigeria. Don't joke, because even the British, the Irish, they are fighting back. Through Dublin, we saw the English Defence Link that are telling us we should all get the hell out of their country. But all I can say is that for now, as we all know, things are erupting fast and very quick in the UK. And as we continue to monitor that, let me also say to you, we also do whatever it takes to protect our loved ones. Our loved ones are the people that we live together. Again this morning, A man was rushed to the hospital in the early hours of this morning after being knifed in Hackney. I can tell you, CCTV will pick those criminals that have committed the crime, even if it takes months and years. That is what officers are meant to do. They are not carrying gun, they are there to protect. So as Tinubu, as the last part, brings in his two Yoruba man to protect him while he's going to be there for the next couple of more years, probably 2 years, 3 years. The headline says Tinubu appoints a new DG of NIA and the DSS. In just 4 minutes, the program will end. And I appreciate everyone that have joined us tonight as we will be heading out in a few minutes. We know that the President Bola Tinubu today approved the appointment of the new Director General of the National Intelligence Agency known as the NIA and the Department of the State Services known as the DSS. Ambassador Mohammed Muhammad is the new Director General of the NIA. President Tinubu also has approved the appointment of Mr. Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi, a Yoruba man, as the new Director of the DSS. Enjoy it while it lasts. But remember, after Tinubu is out of office, they might keep Muhammadu because that sounds like another Fulani man. I don't know why he's not put Yoruba man there. But be rest assured that they will kick out Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi, just like Osibajo was kicked out, and nobody even knows what he's doing today. So mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nílé lóko pé à ń nílé jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ lórí ìkànnì ti talẹ́ yìí níbi tí a ti mú àgbàtò ètò oríṣiríṣi wá fún yín lórí ètò wa tá ń pè ní Koikimedia. Mo kí wa pé gbogbo ibikíbi tí etí ti gbọ́ mi lálẹ́ yìí ni mò ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín nílùú London, ní Amẹ́ríkà, ní Canada, ní Nàìjíríà, ní Áfíríkà, ní gbogbo ibi tí a bá wà. Mo ní èmi ní last man standing. Mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ. Mo kí Professor Banji Akintoye. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ẹgbẹ́ tó ń ṣètò pé kí àwọn Yorùbá kó bọ́ nínú ìdààmú táwa yìí. Mo kí ọba tó pè mí láti ìlú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tí ẹ wá nọ́mbà mi tí ẹ ní ẹ fẹ́ bá mi sọ̀rọ̀. Mo kí kábíyèsí. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn kábíyèsí náà. Mo kí àwọn orí adé. Mo sọ pé orí adé ẹ túbọ̀ máa fi ṣàdúrà fún wa kí a lè tètè bọ́ nínú wàhálà àti ìdààmú táwa nú ẹ̀. Mo wá sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé ẹ jẹ́ ká túbọ̀ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀. A máa délẹ̀ lérí bó pẹ́ bóyá. Ebi tó ń pa wá kò ń ṣọ̀rọ̀ ebi nìkan. A ti wà nínú ewu. Immigration wa wà elapse, security, foreign policy, everything you can think of. That is the manifesto. It might not be the best manifesto for now, but it is the best than the one that we have run with in this crazy country called Nigeria for the last 25 years of democracy. The politicians will not give you a full manifesto. From the Mixlr to the Twitter to the Instagram. Join me again tomorrow where we kick back again. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. I will not say it more than this tonight. But rest assured that the Yoruba people will be free. How is what people want to know. I'll leave that for you to decide. Nigeria itself is sitting on the keg of gunpowder. Ireo, iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wa, forílẹ̀-èdè wa, kàgbéga, kàgbéga, kàgbéga falẹ̀rẹ̀. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé bàtìbẹ́rù làgbọ́ mọ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá, ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira, ní kẹjẹ́ ká máa lépa, ìtẹ̀síwájú, fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtohun tó dára, ọmọ Oòduà dìde, bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ, ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Ẹ rántí pé tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì ṣì wà fún gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ra dínà ti Olóyè Ìgbòho at £100 per ticket. Get in touch with me or the Yoruba World Media or all those committees. Ẹ má gbàgbé, take the day off for the Saturday and let's try to de-amalgamate Nigeria together. Good night.